Why do we exercise? Why do we want to be fit? Maybe it's to change the way we look, to get stronger, more flexible, mental clarity, sports. But I want to argue that there's one major aspect that we should all be training for, and that's for the curveballs that life throws at us. I want to share with you 4 raw travel stories when fitness saved my ass.
I'm Natasha, and I've been living and traveling abroad for the last 6 years. I've recently moved to the northern part of Spain. Subscribe and let's get exploring.
So the first situation that we have was in Hanoi, Vietnam. And what saved me this time was power and strength. Almost every day, wake up early and I would go to my Muay Thai class. And I had my own motorbike and everything. On this one particular day, I was driving to Muay Thai like I would any other day. So I was turning left down a one-way street. I was going the right direction. And there was this massive bus on the left-hand side. So I couldn't really see what was around the corner. And so I had learned that I should always kind of peek my head out and look to see if anyone's coming. So I did that and I inched out and bam, I got hit. Somebody was coming down the one way in the wrong direction. He smashed into my side. My bike went skidding across the road. I looked at the man who had hit me. He looked at me and I said, "You okay?" And I went over and I helped him pick up his bike. He looked at my bike and I just turned around, went over, and I don't even know where this came from, but I just picked that bike up and I pushed it to the side of the road. I took some deep breaths and I shook it off. I was like, whew, that could have been a lot worse. I had like a few cuts and bruises and my bike only had to go into the shop for a few days.
But in the grand scheme of things, I'm glad I was able to take care of the bike myself. I've heard stories about how things have ended up for other people.
So I was doing the Inca Trail with a big group that had already been arranged a few years ago. We went down from 2,500 meters and climbed up to 4,200 meters. I remember I was trucking up the side of that mountain, and when I finally got up to the top, my breath was taken away. I had no words. My jaw dropped at the beauty of the Andes Mountains around me. You know when maybe you're having a bad day or something is a bit rough and you go to your happy place? Well, this moment, this place is my happy place. It has been since I've experienced that moment. But now, with this amazing high that I was feeling, I had to go back down the other side of the mountain. So we had to go down the side of the mountain to get to the next night's camp. I was bumbling around, bounding down, jumping from rock to rock, basically running down the path. Went my ankle. Ugh. Ugh. We couldn't really stop in the middle of the trail. We had to get back down to base camp. The person I was with and then a few other friends who had caught up, they helped me with all the love in the world and all the patience in the world down that side of the mountain. And one of my really good friends, Haas, if you're watching, hi and thank you. He checked out my ankle because he had a lot of experience in this kind of stuff. And he said, yeah, it's probably just a sprain, no biggie, just ice it. So I went and iced it in the river. So when you train, you're basically training not just your muscles, but also the ligaments and tendons around your muscles and your joints. And what this does is it strengthens them. So if something like this does happen, or you sprain your ankle, it's probably not going to be as bad as if you had never trained or if you weren't training. So it actually really helps in preventing injuries, and healing time is usually less. So I just taped it up, layered on Tiger Balm, not in that order, and had coca leaves in the side of my cheek. And then I got to Machu Picchu, and then I think I had some lasting effects for maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then I could work out again. I'm just gonna be straight with you. This story makes me feel a little bit vulnerable, but I wanna share it. And this time, we're in Bordeaux, France. And the role fitness plays in this story is endurance and speed. So it's a typical night. I'm with friends at a pub. When the night is starting to come to a close and everybody wants to get back to their home, or in my case, hostel, I decide I want to go get a falafel because I'm hungry. So I'm sitting down, enjoying my delicious falafel pita, and all of a sudden, I hear these guys speaking to me in French. At first, it's kind of incoherent, it's a little bit quiet. They're saying things that are a bit annoying. Things like, hey, pretty girl, how's it going, pretty girl? Where's your boyfriend? Where's your husband? Come hang out with us. And so I basically just pretended like I didn't understand what they were saying. It started to get a bit more aggressive. I ditched the pizza and I started walking in the direction of my hostel. Normally, this wouldn't be a problem. But it became a problem when one of the guys from the group decided to leave his group and continue to follow me. And he shouted at me for me to slow down. He just wanted to talk. He just wanted to hang out. Let me get this straight. Someone is really quickly trying to walk away from you, yet you are still pursuing her. Maybe she doesn't want to talk to you. Maybe you should leave her alone. So I decided, all right, this guy is maybe he's nuts. I don't know. So I'm just gonna take the situation in my own hands. And so what did I do? I planned my route. So I knew if I took one more corner, I would be at the big park. And once I get through that big park, it's just a few blocks to the hostel. So I looked back and I started jogging. And sure enough, he started jogging as well. Plan in action. Boom. I hit the gears. I started running as fast as I think I ever have in my life. I take one quick glance back and he's running. He's following me as well. So I'm dashing across this park, trying to get away. And then I think, okay, so maybe I won't go directly to the hostel because I don't want him to know where I'm staying. And so I take a left turn, then right, left, and then I get to my hostel. I get in, I have my key card already ready in hand because it was in my pocket, zip myself in, close the door, and I look around, he's nowhere to be seen. Relief. Speed and all of those runs I did around the cities in Europe leading up to that moment prepared me for that moment. The last and final story takes us actually back into the mountains. I didn't really plan 2 cities, 2 mountains thing, it kind of just happened. But the fitness aspect that we're looking at in this story is agility. Imagine the scene. You're in the beautiful mountains of Slovenia. So I'm with my friend Irena and Juan Pablo. We had planned this hike, we had tried to do it before, but it just didn't work out. So we thought, okay, tomorrow, even though the weather says that it's gonna be a bit funky, it might rain, there might be a thunderstorm, we're gonna do it anyways. We had an awesome drive up the mountain through the winding roads. Irena stops us at the bottom of the mountain and we start climbing. And the goal was to get up to the top where there's like this beautiful chalet overlooking the mountain. So as we're up there, the sky is clear, it looks beautiful. We snap a few photos, of course, and then we have our delicious lunch. And then, yep, you guessed it, thunder rolls. The sky was getting darker. The clouds were growing closer. If you've ever been hiking and you've walked or ran or stepped on wet routes, they're super slippery. We went down the really unconventional way where there was just a bunch of loose rock. So we were just skating down these rocks and skidding down, and we made it to the bottom. And then as we were just nearing into the trees, lightning and thunder and rain. And so as soon as you see lightning, you gotta go full throttle. We started going as fast as we could. We all like went into bunny mode. We were literally hopping from rock to rock, running down the path, through the trails, through the trees, It was so exhilarating, so much fun, but hella scary because your brain would basically have to calculate, okay, my foot's gonna go here, 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 and here. Irena slipped and she caught her leg. So she had blood down the side of her leg. So we stopped, went over, and I checked to see if it was that bad. It wasn't that bad. She seemed to be okay. And she just burst out laughing. She is one of those people that no matter how negative the situation, how shitty things can go, she will just laugh it off. She is an amazing person, such a trooper. And so we finally got down there. We were all laughing. We were all completely soaked. So we're jogging to the car, and then we're like, Irena, the keys, the keys. And she's looking at her leg. We're like, are you okay? Okay, keys, keys. And we're trying to like get inside, make sure everything's okay. And Irena stops. Keys? You don't have the keys? We looked at her like, no, don't tell us we just did all that and you don't have the keys. So we tried to open the car, it was locked. We tried to see if the keys were inside the car. We looked in the backpacks, no keys. And I was like, okay, where was the last place you saw them? She's like, before I changed my sweater, they're in the trunk. Oh gosh. So we all had our fingers crossed that the trunk was not locked. She went over, it wasn't locked. And there the keys were sitting in the back of the trunk. Whew. That could have been bad. We jumped in the car and we safely drove out of the mountains and out of the rain and back to her house. Going into bunny mode, being so agile, that's all thanks to fitness training. It's pretty impressive what the body can do. If nothing else, I hope these 4 stories gave you 4 reasons to get fit or stay fit before you travel and just for life in general, because you never know what adventure is ahead. So, what aspect of training are you gonna work on? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm curious. I wanna say a massive thank you to you and all of you lovely people who have been subscribing lately and leaving me tons of comments. I love going through them, seeing what you have to say, getting your feedback. I just love it. So drop me a line, hit the like button, and subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you go outside and do a little fitness. See ya.